a second-year student in Sauder at UBC, and I'm just gonna go over like my personal profile from applying to the school. I know it's annoying to give the disclaimer, but it's like what worked for me doesn't necessarily work for you. And I think the best thing is just when you're answering any of the questions, don't say what you think people want to hear. Answer the questions, or just be honest and like what really rings for you. That's the best way to not regret what you write, because if you're just fake, then it's like, that's a waste. I can start off with grades. My year was probably different, and everyone's grades were probably inflated because of COVID. Because everyone's grades were inflated, it still made it what people's averages would have been. It's like you still had to be above average from the average, because the average was also inflated, if that makes sense. People get so hell-bent on like their grades and like, oh my god, if I don't have like a 99, then I'm not gonna get in. It's like, no, every year there's like a cutoff that you have to meet. So whether that's like 85, 87, 89, you all get put into a pool, and then from there they choose. So it's like you don't differentiate yourself based on your grades. When I applied, so I would have applied in December of my grade 12 year, and by then I would have only had grades for maybe like 4 grade 12 classes, 3 or 4 grade 12 classes, and then you can include some grade 11. So here I have grade 11 counting was a 99, grade 11 law 88, grade 11 English 96, grade 11 functions 97, a 90 in another grade 11 class, and then grade 12 it was just called like business. So there's just like a bit of different things from business. 99, grade 12, 97. And then you had to also write like what you were taking, that you would be done by the end of your grade 12 year, but they didn't have your grades for that. But I think by the time, like, if you get accepted, they still look at those grades. All I know is like my grade 12 year, by the time I was done, like all my grade 12 classes, my average was 98. I don't know if these questions have changed. Now I'll do like the big personal profile questions where they were like more like paragraph essay type things. This is like so embarrassing actually. I don't know what I was on. Like the amount of essays and shit I wrote in this period for different schools and stuff. It was like all pretty similar but different. The first question was, explain how you responded to a problem and or unfamiliar situation. What did you do? What was the outcome? And what did you learn from the experience? I wrote, I pressed record, gained confidence behind a lens, spent sleepless nights editing, and finally clicked publish, only to be laughed at. Oh, tough. At age 13, I was determined to start a YouTube channel. Although I was having an amazing time, the kids around me weren't the biggest fans. They mocked me and made dismissive comments. Instead of letting their words get to me, I just thanked them for watching, because all they were doing, in my perspective, was raising the channel's views. The best part is that for my most hated video is now my highest viewed, and I believe that's a symbol of not letting the words of others define my success. It would have been easy to quit, but I continued pursuing a passion that I now get to call my job. I've learned that dreams are way more valuable than the opinions of those who only want to see my downfall. I apply this teaching to all aspects of life, because numerous doors open when I don't let the thoughts of pessimistic people in. Furthermore, I'm not scared to fail, because I appreciate the process of victory. Succeeding feels unmatched once you experience the lows it takes to reach achievement. So the problem is, I noticed with all the prompts for every essay ever, it's very hard to write something when you had a rather like privileged life. Like, it's like you don't have a sob story to tell, and like you don't also want to just use that as like an excuse or way to get in. But if that's like your truth and the best answer for some of these questions, so I really tried to pray on like what motivates me in life and like my passion. So the next question: give us an example of how the pandemic has changed your involvement in the community or group most important to you. What have you learned from this experience? Before the pandemic, my life mainly consisted of putting my mind towards excelling in school and my body through a rigorous sports schedule. But when it hit, both of these outlets drastically changed. Although it was different, education returned. However, competitive recreation failed to come back. The members I played hockey with transformed from a highly competitive team to just a group, which was a tough change to be a part of. We had to stay in our bubble and couldn't travel to play games against other organizations. This meant that there was technically nothing we were training for, so people became more individually focused. The objective of a team sport is to work together, but the pandemic took away this important aspect, which had a major impact on my connection with my crew. The takeaway from this situation is that the majority of people only work hard when the light at the end of the tunnel is in sight, because they need instant satisfaction. People strive towards rewards instead of improvement, and it diminishes their potential. I learned that although I can't control how others act in the face of change and uncertainty, I'm in charge of my own destination. Tell us about who you are. How would your family, friends, and/or members of your community describe you? If possible, please include something about yourself that you are most proud of and why. I've noticed over the years that people always seem to tell me, you are something else. This description typically comes from those I'm closest to and who truly get to experience my full presence because they see the craziness shining through. I think this trait stems from how raw I am with others. Individuals say I'm very honest and willing to speak the truth, even when it's not what someone wants to hear. I believe my peers appreciate how genuine I am because of how many fake people with poor intentions and hidden agendas live in this world. Family and friends think I'm amusing, dynamic, straightforward, and optimistic. Coaches use words like diligent, focused, versatile, and appreciative to describe me. My teachers call me dedicated, smart, observant, and creative. None of these adjectives mean anything to me if I don't have my imagination, though. My favorite part of myself is my vision and ability to see the world from a unique perspective. I take pride in the fact that I'm a dreamer who truly believes I can accomplish anything and everything this planet has to offer. People say that my aspirations are unrealistic, but if I have imagined them, then they are already part of my reality. Most people forget their fascinations and become robots as they age. However, I never abandoned my ambitions. I'm proud that my mind and the way I view life doesn't always fit in because I won't allow a miserable society to control my future. Oh, nice. What is important to you and why? Living life to the fullest sounds generic, but this idea is what drives me to get out of bed every morning because it holds so much power and meaning in my soul. It comes down to maximizing the most valuable part of existence, time. Doing this brings out the best version of myself, which has a positive impact on others. Knowing that my presence adds to someone's day is a special task that I strive to consistently execute. People love positive energy, so I attempt to use my attitude to create these vibes. I found that having a lifestyle where making memories is a top priority is the best way to ensure that I embrace what's coming in so that I can put the same vibrancy out. Going on adventures and sharing my experiences with individuals is my current purpose. I value exploring and being immersed in all surrounding details because the unfamiliarity makes me appreciate every moment. Traveling and creating content for brands, then using the techniques I acquire along the way to develop my own business is one plan I have on how to accomplish this. Showing the population that it's more than possible to follow your dreams is immensely important to me. Inspiring people to pursue their passions is an extraordinary gift that I aspire to give. In order for my life to be fulfilled, I must open the eyes of others so they can discover their full potential and learn to live instead of survive. And then there was the interview thing. You take like the external link and you go to like the video thing. It's in like a special browser and you like, do not stress yourself out about that. It's literally just to see if you can speak English. Also, maybe one of the reasons I got in because they maybe saw that I had blonde hair and blue eyes and they needed to fill a quota. So am I a token? Maybe, but I'll take it. I can post some clips of mine and I literally choked so bad. Like they asked me a question, I started rambling about Walt Disney and then like I didn't know what to say, so I went next, and I just turned it off. I don't know. It's honestly pretty chill. Just start talking about something, anything, even if it's not answering the question directly. Probably just like say whatever you interpret it as or whatever comes to mind, just to show that you can like talk. Just have confidence and like don't be like, oh my god, they asked me a question, like if I don't get it perfect I'm not gonna like answer. No. Just speak. Like just talk. Like what I'm doing right now in front of a camera. I just start talking. Whatever comes out comes out. It is what it is. They like this idea and they and then one of the other sections was describe up to 5 activities that you have pursued or accomplishment achieved in one or more of the following areas. Please outline the nature of your responsibilities within these activities. So it's 50 words per description, and it just says like club, family and community responsibilities, creative or performing arts, work/employment, athletics, volunteer, service to others. This is kind of where you showcase your extracurricular stuff. So my first one was athletics. When you started, when you ended, and like how much time per week. For weekly, like more than 5 hours per week, because I think it was the most you could do or something. I don't know. I started out as a defenseman, switched to forward for a short span, and eventually my plan to become a midget AA hockey goalie began. I'm my school's varsity boys team's starting goaltender, where I advanced to OFSA, earned multiple tournament/game MVP awards and victories regardless of my gender. You kind of just like hype yourself up a bit. And then for work and employment, I wrote like greater than 5 hours a week. I'm a content creator for YouTube where I film, edit, and post videos for the world to see. I gained a large enough audience to earn payment through monetization. The amount depends on how many views I get. I've amassed nearly 1,500 subscribers and 1 million total channel views. Okay, so I wrote this in December 2020. And I had like 1,400 and something subscribers. And I was like, oh, like probably by the time they even read this, I'll have like 1,500 subscribers. Tell me how I still don't have 1,500 subscribers. And we're now in December 2022. Like my YouTube channel just like I was gonna say stagflation, but that's not that. Came to a stop, quick stop, because I went to school. Instead of pursuing, isn't that whole paragraph about pursuing my passion and traveling and filming videos? No. I came here and I sit at my desk and I type a bunch of shit and fail classes. Do you want to come here, guys? Like, I'm giving you advice on maybe how to get in, but like, make sure it's what you want. Know what you're getting yourself into. Again, for athletics, so I won this awesome mixed doubles championship within my first year pursuing tennis and was a finalist in singles the following year. I was interested in playing a competitive sport where the outcome of the game depended on individual dedication. So I remember I did mixed doubles. They just like paired me with another guy. We just like went really try hard and won. I'd never played tennis before, just started going there, and I don't know, it was a good duo. And then for volunteer, I had a week in December to prepare/execute a charitable fundraiser with a group of students. I came up with the idea of selling candy canes to our small school's members. We raised $650 and donated 65 pairs of pajamas to a local shelter for women and children fleeing abusive households. One like business class in high school, our final project was to come up with some sort of like charity type thing. It was in December when I had this. I was like, oh, let's like sell candy canes. I think we sold like big candy canes for $1 and small candy canes for 25 cents. And I was like, kids will just want to like snack on candy. Like, if I come into your classroom being like showing you all these candy canes, you're gonna want to buy them. So we just like raised a bunch of money, as if every single student there at least bought one, because I had a small school. We like organized it with like a women's shelter, and we asked them what they wanted and they wanted pajamas, so we just went and bought them. And then for volunteer, I was pursuing my lifeguarding designation when the pandemic canceled all courses. Rather than let my knowledge and skills go by the wayside, I taught kids who were unable to enroll in lessons. I benefited, and so did children who otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to expand their abilities. So those were like, you'd only get like 50 words for a little like section, so that's just a way to showcase like broad variety of like extracurricular things. And then you get to go into more in detail. So it says, tell us about 1 or 2 activities listed above that are most important to you. Please explain the role you played and what you learned in the process. You will be asked for a reference. You can speak to your response. So of course I wrote about hockey because that was my life. My life has revolved around hockey since I was 6. Playing the sport is more of a lifestyle than a game to my entire family. Throughout high school, I've played on 3 lineups at the same time, including the most competitive team in the Niagara region. Earning this position took plenty of determination and dedication because I had to leave my hometown to enhance my newfound goaltending skills for a couple years before returning to obtain the top spot. What seemed like being removed from everything I had ever known turned into an opportunity to be taken out of my comfort zone, where I could grow my character and experience what it's like to build myself from the ground up. Motivation, right there. When faced with the unknown and put in an uncomfortable position, I was forced to learn how to thrive, regardless of the conditions. A main takeaway for me was that I enjoy change and challenge. I think that is partly why I wanted to switch positions in the first place. I realized how reassuring it feels to prove to people that I'm capable of much more than they might imagine. I learned that the best way to show what my true abilities are to those who don't believe in me is through action. I understand that I cannot control the past, but I can take matters into my own hands and fight towards ensuring that the future has different outcomes. High school hockey has been a major part of my identity throughout high school. I played on the girls' varsity team since grade 9 in every position depending on where I was needed for the game. I also learned how important it is to sacrifice my personal preferences for the greater good of the group. In addition, I was the starting goalie for my school's junior and varsity boys roster. I won every game and tournament in junior and advanced to OFSA and varsity. The takeaway from this experience is that guys do want to see girls succeed, and we'll respect them, but it must be earned. It's sure. And then it just says, additional information, you may wish to use the space below to provide UBC with more information on your academic history to date and or your future academic plans. For example, how did you choose your courses in secondary school? Are there life circumstances that have affected your academic decisions today? What have you done to prepare yourself specifically if you're intended area of study at UBC. So I think this is somewhere where you can like maybe talk about any discrepancies or like what would be bad. I've never been passionate about the content or learning style of science, and there are no careers I desire in the field. So I recognized that it wasn't the route for me. Contrastingly, I've always been fascinated by the business world. So I focus my studies in that area by taking every business class offered at my school. I also take part in different law and politics courses because I figured a background of these topics is useful in the business industry. My university objective is to succeed and receive a high quality education from a top commerce program. Yes. I don't have it here, but I feel like there's another section where you can just like list pretty much all of your extracurriculars. Like, you know how there's like 5 things there? I think that, I remember there was another part, I swear, where I wrote like, I was in ski club, I was in like some other volunteer, like where I got some of my volunteer hours. What else? Just some of the different sports I played in high school. So there, I think you literally just like put in what it was, but you didn't need like a description, which is why I don't have it here. You do like your first program choice, and then you can do your backup one. So I wrote my first one as like UBC Vancouver Bachelor of Commerce, and my backup will be UBC Okanagan, and it's a Bachelor of Management there. When I applied to UBC, I was attracted to like the BC part, like Vancouver, the mountains, the ocean. That was all great. I didn't know that it was like the best business school in Canada, and that it was like competitive to get into. Like I didn't come here for that aspect, and like talking to majority of the people I meet here, that's what they came for. My advice is just know what you're getting yourself into. Like first year was a bit rough, like classes were hard, I got shit grades. That's kind of having effects now, like trying to apply for exchange, and like it's based on your cumulative average, so don't shit the bed in first year if you can. But the biggest thing for me that was like different is the attitudes of people. It just like doesn't really align with mine, like my view on life, my lifestyle, and what I came here for. So it's really hard too, because in something like business, you have the classes with the same people, and like naturally that's who your friends are gonna be with, because like you have classes with them, so you have similar schedule, and like when you're studying, so it just makes sense from that perspective. But really try and find your group that like also has similar passions with you, so it can get really draining. What makes UBC good is it's like at the end of the day the classes are pretty similar at like any business school. It's like relatively similar material. How the grades are so much more shit here, I don't know. I don't know what they do and what they put in these exams, but it's for all the outside factors too, like networking and internships and co-op and all that, and it's like woohoo. So it's really easy to be like talking to people, and they're like, oh, I had this internship, I'm going to this event, and it's like, okay, I'm happy for you if that's what you want and that's genuinely like what interests you, but don't feel that you have to like go along with them and like take advantage of those opportunities too if they don't like actually align, because then it's just a waste. Don't close doors, but also like don't go through an open one with no intent on what's on the other side. I think too, like people just get really hell-bent and focused on like grades and stuff, like it's the be-all and end-all. You'll be talking to someone, it's like instead of saying like how are you, like how's life, you'll be like, so how's studying going, like what'd you get on that test? So they're just like, shut up, like talk about something else. I tried to like make a rule, like first year I remember with a lot of my friends, it's like when we go out and we have fun, it's like we're not talking about school. Like it's really just the mindset of some people, and then it's like tough because there's lots of cool programs here. So like the people that are more like my interests or whatever, are they're in like forestry or kinesiology or oceanography, and it's like nice. The whole like solder snake thing, it's like there are definitely people that are like that. Like when I'm talking to people and they're like, oh, I made a new connection rather than a new friend, it's like, the fuck did you just say? And I think too what's good is like you can have your program like business thing, whatever, and then you can also just like have fun like doing extracurriculars and intramurals and clubs and like find more like-minded people that way, which is what I've been trying to do. So if you have like any questions regarding like my time here so far, or like more into like applying or anything, feel free to comment or just like reach out to me directly. I don't know if I'm the best like staple. Thanks for watching. Consider all factors before you decide where you want to go to school. Good luck if this is the be all and end all for you.